Hello, Grand Park community. It's Courtney. Welcome to your Yoga Ala retreat. And today for our class, I want us to focus on knowing when to rest. So the practice, the physical practice of yoga can vary. Sometimes we do softer practices, more vigorous practices. And today I'm going to purposely teach a practice that's very high energy, lots of flowing, lots of movement. But an advanced yogi will know when to come down into child's pose and take rest. So I'm going to encourage us to notice, to look within, to honor our bodies, which is the practice of yoga, right? Knowing ourselves, honoring ourselves, being with what is, being with what's true. So we're going to do a little check-in to start, just to kind of see where the energy is or isn't in the body today. And I'm going to really encourage us to not do everything. I'm probably going to be doing most of the things since I'm demoing, but I will also try to model resting as I cue the practice for us. So let's find a seat. So sitting up on something, maybe in a chair, maybe sitting up on a pillow to slightly elevate the hips. And then see if you can find an intentional seat. So finding a way to lift your heart, to settle your shoulders down away from your ears, to soften the jaw. And then just feeling your body in space. So noticing what's touching down. Allow it to touch down. And allowing yourself to find length from that grounding. Start to come into your breath. So noticing your breath. Allowing that to be a way to connect with your body, with the moment. And then here, I'll ask you to do a little scan of yourself. So from head to toe, just noticing your physical body and the energy in your body right now. So without judgment, just noticing, not making up stories about it, just noticing if you feel tired, even if you don't know why, or if you feel fluttery, even if you don't know why. And then on a scale of 1 to 10, so 1 being like, I don't know how I'm going to move at all, I just want to go back to bed, or 10 being like, I could scale the side of this building I'm in. Where are you energy-wise today? And again, without judgment, just knowing ourselves. And this will hopefully be helpful to be our guide for knowing when to take rest. And then from here, fluttering your eyes open, and we will start in child's pose, just so we know where we're going to come to if we find ourselves needing some rest. So child's pose is knees wide, big toes come together to touch. The heels sink back the hips sink back for the heels. If that is not comfortable in your body or your hips are way up, you can always grab a towel, a blanket, a pillow, and place it underneath your seat. And then melting the heart forward, finding if you like to have your arms up and overhead, or some people like to have your hands palms up by the feet. And then really allow your forehead to rest. So if the forehead doesn't naturally touch here, you could grab another pillow, you could stack your fists, and rest your forehead down on your fists. So just finding a way to be in this pose of surrender. You might want to play with maybe taking your knees a little bit wider, whatever feels good to you. And then really starting to come into your breath. So finding inhales and exhales that have the same length. So really making sure that those exhales take up a lot of space. And we're going to use our breath as an indicator when we need to rest today. So ideally, we'd like to keep a breath that matches this breath that you're finding here. So even when things get challenging, trying to find a slow and steady breath. And if you notice that you're out of connection with your breath, you can come down here and then regather that control and then join us whenever you're ready. So this will be the symbol of rest today. From here, we're gonna find our way to hands and knees. We'll just start with a little warm up before we start moving a lot. So wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, fingers are spread wide, and then pressing into the knuckles to lift up out of the shoulders, scooping your belly up to your spine. As you inhale, belly drops, heart rises. As you exhale, round in your spine, nose comes in towards your belly button, let your head go. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curling everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curling everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. From here, keep your knees where they are. We're gonna walk the hands into a big V overhead, offering the forehead or the top of the head to the earth. And we're gonna keep our arms really active here. So fingers are wide, your triceps are hugging into your ears. So if you don't quite know what your triceps are, it's like the armpits are coming towards each other and you're melting your heart down towards the earth. So there's an inner spiral of the arms. Finding some breaths here between your shoulder blades in your upper back. Continuing with that slow and steady breath. From here, keep this action in your arms and your hands. Tuck your toes and send your hips up and back for your first down dog. So knees can be bent. In fact, I super duper recommend bending the knees a lot here. You can always take your hands wider than your shoulders if your shoulders are tight. Definitely let your head be soft. So notice if you're holding the head up, really let your head melt down. And then heels don't have to touch here. In fact, they probably won't, especially this early in practice. Maybe you want to bend one knee, flatten opposite foot, just to kind of stretch into your calves. Maybe you'd like to play with taking your head yes and no. Keep those inner arms spiraling in. Keep releasing your head. On our inhale, we'll roll forward to a plank. We're gonna pause here. So scooping the belly up into the spine, pressing into your knuckles. Your knees can come down here and you can keep that action of pressing up into your fingers and your knuckles. Let your head be in line with your spine. And see if you can find that slow, steady breath here. So did you kind of start to hold your breath? Or is your breath shallow? Can you get into the practice when things get a little more or a lot more challenging that you keep this slow and steady breath? And if that does not happen, you come into your child's pose to take rest. As you exhale, hips come up and back, downward facing dog. Walk your hands back for your feet. We'll find our way into our forward fold. So feet are either hips distance, maybe a little wider if your low back wants a little more space today. So remember, we're kind of trying on poses, seeing what's happening in our body, honoring the truth of that. So maybe feet wider, head releases. Glue your feet to the earth and then press into your feet to roll yourself up to stand. Arms sweep tall to the sky. We'll just do a little side body stretch. So grabbing your right wrist with your left hand, keep pressing down into your right foot and then reaching up and over to the left. So finding a line of energy between your right heel and your right fingertips. Let your shoulders melt down, let the breath move through. As you inhale, coming back to center, grabbing the left wrist with the right hand, press down into your left heel, and then reaching up and over to the right. So finding a line of energy from your left foot all the way out to your left fingertips. And it doesn't have to be a super big stretch, maybe it is, but find a shape that you can send your breath through. From here, coming back to center, arms stay up and overhead. We're gonna do a little something for our shoulders. So this will be our exhale. As you inhale, elbows go out, heart reaches tall. So cactus arms, and then exhale, reach your arms tall. 2 more times. Inhale, elbows bend, heart reaches up. And then exhale, fingertips go tall to sky. 1 more time. Inhale, elbows bend, heart moves up and through. Exhale to release. Hands come down towards your hips. Take your feet wider than your hips. And we're gonna come into hip circles here. So glue your feet to the earth first. And then just moving your hips around. So the knees are gonna definitely bend. And just kind of feeling your way through it. So it might look different than mine. Just kind of feeling into your hips here. Keep those feet glued to the earth. Keep moving your breath through. And then send your circling the other way. So keeping bend into your knees. You might play with how quickly or slowly you're moving. Use it as an opportunity to get into relationship with your hips. Beautiful. Let's come back to center. One more thing for our shoulders. So fingertips tap to the shoulder tops. Roll your elbows in and around and down. So just creating a little heat, a little movement into the shoulders. Keep your feet glued to the earth, steady. Keep the breath moving slow and steady. And then we'll switch the direction. So elbows go out and around and down. From here, let's place our hands over the heart, soften your eyes closed. And I just want to remind us all that we're going to take rest when we need it, not when I cue it, unless when I cue it, it's appropriate for you, but taking rest when you need it. And just remembering that a cue is when the breath is out of sync with the movement, or when you feel disconnected from what you're doing. I'm going to really, really encourage you to come down into your child's pose. And if child's pose isn't comfortable, maybe coming to a seat and just reconnecting with your breath. So here we go. So we're going to come into many sun salutations today. So sun salutations are a great way to warm up the body, to connect breath with movement. We usually only do a few of them. Today we're going to be doing probably around 10. They kind of start to invoke some cardio. So again, child's pose when we need it. That's our focus today. And that is not a form of weakness. It's a form of great strength when we learn when our body needs rest. So palms come out to the side. As you inhale, draw your arms tall to the sky. So connecting our breath with our movement. Exhale, forward fold, release your head. Inhale, halfway lift. Heart reaches forward, tailbone reaches away. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, drawing your arms tall to the sky. Exhale, hands come to the heart. So we're going to do that version one more time. Inhale, arms go tall. Breath with movement. Exhale, forward fold, release your head. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back. Exhale, forward fold, release your head. Inhale, arms go tall to the sky. Exhale, hands go to the heart, adding on. Inhale, arms go tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. This time, exhale, hands go down to plank. Hips go tall to sky, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps for right hand, back foot spins flat. Same inhale carries you up. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, press it on up. Inhale carries you up. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. So that will be our second sun salutation flow. We'll take a few breaths in between each round. Coming down to child's pose when you need rest, when you feel disconnected, or when your breath is not matching your movements. So here we go. One breath, one movement, or resting. Looking towards your hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank to down dog. Inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot reaches, back foot spins flat, warrior one on the left. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. So this will be our chance to recover the breath, to regroup, maybe to take a child's pose and sit this next round out. So the sun salutations are a way to bring in energy into the body. If they're not doing that, please take rest. If you're noticing that more energy is coming in, moving on to our next round. Looking towards your hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms go to sky. Exhale, hands come to heart. Inhale, arms go tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, down dog. Inhale, warrior one on the left. Exhale, plank, downward facing dog or child's pose. So reconnecting with breath. Noticing if you're getting more energy. Sign to move on with us for the next round. If you're tired or fighting, coming down to rest and to take care of yourself. If you're moving on to the next round, looking towards your hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms go to sky. Exhale, hands go to heart. Inhale, arms go tall. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat, press on up, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one on the left. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. So option to rest. Always an option to rest, even in the middle of a salutation. So that is the strength of an advanced yogi when we notice, when we honor what's true, when we want to come into the moment that we're in. So one more round like this, and then we're going to add something else. So option to rest or looking towards hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms go tall. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms go tall. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands go down, plank. Hips to sky, down dog. Inhale, right foot steps, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. So collect your breath. Option to rest. So for our next series of sun salutations, we're going to add a chair pose at the top of each salutation. Remembering to come down and rest whenever you feel disconnected from what you're doing or when the breath is not connected to the movement. So either resting or looking towards your hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Here we go, starting with chair. Inhale, chair pose, so hips sink back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog, or child's pose. So that's our last sun salutation flow series. So we're going to keep doing it, but that's kind of the last version of salutation we're going to do. We're going to do it 3 more times. You're going to rest as needed. And for this, we're actually not going to take organized rest in between the 3 rounds, just to give ourselves that challenge of knowing when we need rest. So instead of when I cue rest, I'm going to keep going. But when you need to take rest, come down to child's and then rejoin us whenever, if you are ready. So looking towards your hands, step the feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank, down dog. Inhale, warrior 1 on the right. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior 1 on left. Hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, step your feet. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Remember to take rest when you need. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, warrior 1 on the right. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior 1. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Look towards your hands, step your feet. Last round like this. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps, warrior 1. Exhale, hands go down, plank, downward facing dog. Taking rest when you need. Left foot steps, back foot spins flat, warrior 1 on the left. Exhale, hands go down, plank, hips to sky, down dog. And then if you're already resting, good for you. If you haven't rested, coming down to child's. So regathering your breath, slow and steady. See if you can allow those exhales to match the length of your inhales. If you have control of your breath and are ready to move on, finding your way to down dog. If your breath is still a little disconnected, please stay and reconnect your breath, and we'll be here for you when you're ready to move on. Starting with the left foot, we'll step the left foot in between the hands. Back foot spins flat. We're gonna come to warrior 2. So fingertips reach out from the shoulders. The hips are opening towards the right. Left leg is forward. We're gonna come into a little flow here. So this will be our exhale. Inhale, extend your left leg. Arms go tall to sky. And then exhale, warrior 2, looking out beyond your left middle finger. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, warrior 2. This time the left forearm comes down to left thigh. Right arm goes up and over your right ear. Find that line of energy similar to when we were standing and doing our side stretch. Finding energy from your right heel all the way out to your right fingertips. So settling into your breath. If this is too much for the thigh, maybe you release, regain control of your breath, and then join us when you're ready. As you inhale, making your way back to Warrior Two, let's all extend left leg. So the hips reach back, the left fingertips reach forward, left hand taps really lightly down. So not putting a lot of pressure onto the shin. If you tend to do that, you might play with taking your palm and facing it forward. Reaching your right arms, extending them up, finding length, finding your breath. Reaching your heart towards your fingertips. Inhale back to Warrior Two. Hands come down, making your way into your downward facing dog. So if you need to take child's, please do. From here, we'll step the right foot in between the hands. Back foot spins flat. We're in heel to arch alignment. Big sink of the right thigh, fingertips extend out from your shoulders. Steady your gaze over your right middle finger. This will be our exhale. Inhale, draw your arms tall, extend your right leg, and then exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale, lengthen, extend. Exhale, Warrior Two. Right forearm goes to right thigh, and then that left arm comes up and over the left ear, finding that line of energy from your left heel all the way out to your left fingertips. Send your heart up, and then find a place for your neck to be. Whoops, that doesn't cause strain. How's your breath? As you inhale, making your way back to Warrior Two, extend your right leg straight, reach your fingertips forward, reach your hips back, right hand goes down to the right shin, left arm goes tall to the sky. And again, if you're one of those people, I am, that kind of presses into the leg, that doesn't allow us to use our belly strength, that just allows us, it makes us use force. So the palm comes forward, reaching your heart up and using your abdominals to be the strength and the foundation of this pose. Find your breath. Inhale back to Warrior Two. From here, we'll extend the right leg again. We're gonna come into a forward fold. So we're gonna keep the legs really wide, so 3 to 4 feet. Hands come to the hips, toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Lift up in your heart, lift up with your gaze, and then finding that length, melt your heart forward, let your head go. Tapping your hands maybe down on the earth. If they don't touch, you could put pillows underneath your hands, books. You could also just grab opposite elbows, slightly pressing into the outer edges of the feet, but keep the knees soft so we're not locking in the knees. From here, check out what's happening in your neck. So notice if you're holding your head up, there's no need. And then settling into the breath here. From here, we're going to take the hands to the hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press into your feet. Lift yourself all the way up. And then we're going to come into Malasana. So heels are going to come in, toes are going to go out. The feet are slightly wider than the hips. And then sinking down into Yogi Squat. So some people love this pose and feel like it's a really natural pose. Some people, it feels really uncomfortable. So we're gonna honor that. So if you notice that your heels are up, maybe you slide a towel or a blanket underneath your heels just to connect the floor to the heels with that blanket. If it feels okay, maybe little gentle pressure of your elbows into your knees, lift of your heart. And if this is just not right for your body, honor that and just come to a seat. We're gonna come into a few rounds of breath. Let your exhale move all the way out. Inhale, draw in a really deep, slow breath. As you exhale, release a deep, slow breath. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. If you're still in your yogi squat, hands come behind you. Sit down, soles of the feet come together, knees come wide. So we're gonna really start to slow down the practice now. So heels come in towards the body, however they feel, when you feel like a little bit of resistance, but you can still breathe with it. So we're getting into the inner thighs. Hands maybe come around the feet, around the shins. Find lots of lift in your heart. You might want to stay up here or starting to melt your heart slightly forward. Chin falls into your chest. Taking a few breaths here. See if you can start to make your exhales even longer than your inhale. Next, inhale, if you're folded, lift up, extend both your legs straight with a bend in your knees. So when I say straight, I mean kind of straight. Bend your right knee, place your right foot outside your left thigh, cradle your left shin with your left forearm, find lift in your heart, and then set your right hand either to the base of your spine or maybe out a little bit from your spine. From here, find lots of length, and from that length, start to send your heart slightly to the right. So finding our twist, keep a little flex in your extended left foot. How's your breath? Keep recommitting to length on your inhale and twist on your exhale. Not forcing, just working with the inhales and exhale. On your next exhale, release. We'll switch to the other side. So right leg extends out, left knee bends, left foot comes up and over the right thigh. Right forearm cradles the left shin, and use that little cradling as a way to find lift in your heart, and then take that left hand down to either the base of the spine, maybe out a little farther, shoulders away from ears. Inhale, find length. Exhale, send your heart towards the left, and keep working with that. Inhale, find length. Exhale, find twist. Inhale, find length. Exhale, find twist. And then exhale, release forward. So one last pose. We're gonna come into a forward fold here. So you can do a forward fold with a big bend in your knees. You could put something underneath the backs of your thighs. Find length in your spine. And from that length, send your heart forward into a fold. So maybe your hands come around your feet. Maybe that's a crazy concept in your body and the hands come to the sides. It's all perfect as long as you're honoring your body. Let your chin fall into your chest. Allow yourself to take some really deep exhales to release. Allow your jaw to soften. Maybe allow your eyes to soften, close, to feel inside the shape. From here on your inhale, lift your heart, and then making your way onto your back for our final rest. So we'll take one little breath thing together, and then we'll release out into just a minute of rest. So we're just gonna take a really big inhale through the nose, and we're gonna sigh a really big exhale through the mouth. So let your exhale come all the way out. Through your nose, draw in a really full inhale. From your mouth, Shavasana, final rest. Starting to bring awareness back to your breath. Finding some little wiggles of your fingers and your toes. Rolling over to your right side, making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. And then pressing yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Palms down on the thighs, softening the eyes closed. And if this practice was interesting today, of knowing when to take rest, of honoring ourselves, knowing ourselves, I encourage you to take it into your life off the mat. So I'm saying this because I need to hear it too. So do you really need to do that extra thing? Do you really have to go do 12 social things this week? Do you really have to push yourself to the max? Can you maybe schedule in some rest? And you could even think of this as noticing what you put into your body. So do you notice your body feels more energetic when you eat maybe a little bit more cleanly? So the practice of yoga is all about knowing and honoring our bodies. So please do that whenever you can remember this week. It's been such a great honor to be here with you today. Thank you, Grand Park, for having us. I'll see you again real soon. The light in me sees and honors the light in all of you.